Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 35 of Tuesday Talks. Forgive me for munching on crackers. I'm really hungry. I know I'm so hungry. Well, I didn't really eat breakfast. That's one reason. I had a donut and a half. Lunch, I just had a frozen dinner. Wasn't enough. Hey, Raz. How are you? I feel bad for munching right now, but I had to eat something real quick. I'm starving. So I've been researching this whole Google Hangouts thing, and I think I finally got it where I need to have it, I guess. I just don't know how people are supposed to reach me. I guess they search my email. I don't know. Last week you were asleep. Girl, I almost didn't make it tonight. I'm like, I'm so tired. I have lesson plans to do. I just want to sleep. But can't miss my Tuesday talk, so I had to get on. I'm okay. I'm just tired. I was up really late. I spent so many hours yesterday trying to lesson plan. And I only got one day of lessons completed for 4 courses. And I'm used to having like 2-3 weeks ahead of time. So I think I just need to not put as much stuff in the lesson plan template as I do. Hey, Kate, how are you? So, Raz, did you finally open your Be Happy box? I swear I want another one, but I'm just telling myself don't do it because I mainly only want to get another one for the stickers. And that would be like me paying $50 for a sticker book. And I just can't see myself doing that. Not yet, really. Wow. Yeah, mine sat for I think like a couple of days before I opened mine. And my brother was like, did you open that box? I was like, I already know what's in it. But I finally opened it. I think it took me like 2 days to, get in there and open it all up and everything. So, but yeah, I love it. It's really nice. I just want another one of those sticker books. I'm sure we'll see. Well, then again, we may not. I was about to say I'm sure we'll see the florals again, but since it was a collaboration, we may not see those florals again. If it was just a happy planner thing, we're guaranteed to see those again. Guaranteed. But with it being a collab, I don't know. But I saw somebody found like the Amy Tangerine Be Happy box. Was it a thrift store or something like that? I saw it on Instagram, I want to say. Like somebody found it like somewhere for really cheap. The Amy Tangerine one. And so I was like, interesting, But I just love those stickers. I'm trying my best not to hoard them. Like I said, I'm just so happy to have the black boxes and the black checklist and just the black circles. And you can't find black often in the Happy Planner stuff. So that was nice to find. And even that pale pink, you don't find that in a Happy Planner. So You can find a lot of pink, but you're not going to find that pale pink like that. It's just hard to find. So I think, like I said, I think I figured out the Google Hangout, how to get in there. I downloaded some extension or whatever to my Chrome. But I don't know if people are supposed to just have my email to get to it or what. I'm not sure. But I see I've missed a lot of Hangout invitations. I have like 57 invites. I don't even know who those people are. I'm even afraid to click on it. I don't know these people. Let me see. Yeah, it says people can reach you directly if they have your email or phone number. So I guess y'all can find me through my email. Oh, wow. Some of these invites go back from like 2017. And they're just like random people that I don't know. I don't know any of these folks. But what makes a person want to try and talk to you via Google Hangout if they don't know you? That's just kind of weird. Then some of them are listed as spam. Surprised they're all not listed as spam. Okay. It's a little weird to me, but whatever. Yeah, a lot of. I remember the first time somebody. That's when I was still frequently on Google Plus and everything, and someone first tried to talk to me, and I freaked out because I was like, "Oh my god, it's like some stalker dude or something." I just thought they were gonna be a crazy person because I'm like, I don't know you, you don't know me. Why are you trying to talk to me? Via this Google Hangouts, because I never used Google Hangout like the whole time that I was using Google Plus, and I was using Google Plus, like quite a bit, but I don't think I ever used Google Hangouts on there. So interesting. Yeah. So do you guys have any family or friends that are in the path of this hurricane? I have friends in Florida. I have my cousin and his family are in Florida. They're like in the Orlando area. But now I heard that it's like people in the Carolinas and Georgia are at risk too. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Raz. Your uncle and aunt? Yeah, I saw like someone had a video on Facebook, I want to say, of the Bahamas, and it was bad. It was crazy. I was just like, oh my goodness. You don't have any friends? Yeah. And I know my older brother, I think, has like some Marine buddies there in the Carolinas and some in Florida too. So he was saying that, he was going to be checking in on them. And it's like, whoa, like that thing, they grow fast, and then those same areas just got hit last year. So I'm sure a lot of people there are still recovering from last year. So when we were in Mississippi on our road trip, we got to see still damage from Hurricane Katrina. Like there's still parts along the boardwalk there and the beach that have not been restored since Katrina. So that was like weird to see. And then my uncle was telling us the story of how far some of the hotels and casinos and homes were pushed away from the shoreline. It's crazy to think about that. I had dreams about the world coming to an end, how it looked in the Bahamas. Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it was my uncle saying how whole casinos had just been lifted up off of the Mississippi Gulf Coast during Hurricane Katrina. So I'm like, water is a force to be reckoned with. Okay. It is a force to be reckoned with. And that's what kept me from going on a cruise for the longest time. I was just like scared to death about being this big body of water and I can't swim, and I was just like, as long as we don't go during hurricane season, like we just cannot be, no, we cannot be out there during hurricane season. That's not gonna work for me. And I think it goes through to like November or something like that. I don't know. But I know one of my friends was talking about possibly doing, what do you call it, a cruise for New Year's. And I'm hoping if she still wants to do that, it's not hurricane season during that time, because if so, I'm not going. Although I would love to like be on a Carnival cruise for New Year's, because Carnival can really throw a party, and I can just imagine how much fun and everything it would be with them throwing a New Year's Eve bash on the ship. So I'm gonna have to message her and see if that's something she's still talking about doing, because I know I want to take a trip in December for our singles ministry. I go to the single ministries trip like every year in December, and I didn't go last year. Like I just couldn't with the timing, and I just couldn't with my funds. And I was mad that I missed out because they were in New Orleans, and I've never been to New Orleans, and that was my opportunity to go. And so I missed out on that. And we have like 5 states in our church conference. And so we just go throughout the states in the conference. The only one state I've never been to yet, I think, is New Mexico. Yeah, so I've been, of course, to events in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas. And then New Mexico is the other state that's in our conference. But we've never had anything there because we don't really have any people that can support and plan it all there in New Mexico. But this year it will be in Dallas. So not excited that it's going to be in Dallas, really. Been to Dallas several times, but I am excited that it's going to be close. That's a good thing. So I don't have to worry about driving out of Texas or flying, because that's always the hardest part. All of those states border us, but it's just getting out of Texas before I can even get to the destination. So like when we had an event in Oklahoma, took forever. Most of the driving time was getting to the border. Once we got into Oklahoma, boom, it didn't take long after that before we got to the city that we needed to be in. So I'm happy that Dallas is close. And with it being close, I'll probably only need to take off one day of work, because what I had started doing, because when we have these singles ministry weekends, there's no sleeping. Don't sleep. Like we're constantly having seminars. We do community service. And then the one that we have in December, we have a ball that Saturday night, wake up the next morning and have a brunch and another seminar and close everything out. And so it's like nonstop. So we actually had to like start cutting out one of our seminars because we weren't getting any rest. So we would always have like a seminar after lunch on Saturday. And we had to cut that out because it was like we didn't have time to rest before we started the ball Saturday night. So we started cutting out that seminar. But yeah, I'm just excited because I haven't seen my singles ministry friends in a long time. And they're like family to me. And we always just have a good Christian filled time when we're together. So I'm looking forward to doing that in December. And normally I had started taking like that Friday and that Monday off. So it's a 3-day weekend thing. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I started taking Friday off just so I could travel. Because one time I didn't. And by the time I got there that evening, it was like I paid for Friday and it was like I didn't really get to do anything. Um, so I usually take that Friday for driving purposes so I can hurry up and get to my destination early. I don't like to be driving at night on the highway if I don't have to. Um, but since we're right in Dallas, I probably won't have to take that Monday. I'll still be tired, but I don't want to waste taking off a day if I don't really have to. So I won't have to take that Monday off, drive my 3-4 hours back here, and get myself situated for the next day at work. So that's how I'll do that. But I'm excited because I always like to find a new dress and new shoes every December and get all dressed up for the ball. So yeah, I'll have to share some photos with you guys of some of the previous ensembles I've had at the singles balls that we've done, but we have a good time. But yeah, won't have to take off because here at my new job, most of the jobs that I've worked at, we've gotten like 5 days of sick leave and we've got 5 days of personal leave. But here we just get 5 days, period. That's it. Just 5 days. And I want to use them wisely. That's for sure. If we're going to do a New Year's cruise, I really won't have to take up any days because I'll already be out of work for the holidays. So that will be good. And I can't really think of any other time that I'm going to actually need to take off. I definitely have learned over the years to take like mental health days when you teach. Take a day here and there just in case, just for a breather. And I like to do that usually right after STAR testing, our state assessments. You're going to need a break usually after those assessments. So I try not to waste days like around holidays. And some school districts won't let you. Like some school districts literally have rules you cannot take off before or after an extended holiday. But people break that rule all the time. I barely did the first year, Raz. I didn't take like any time. Like I think I went into the next school year with almost all of my time. I hardly ever call in sick. I try not to even do that either. I just don't like when there's a sub. I just feel like nothing's getting done the way I need it to get done if I'm not the one that's there. So I try not to take off for that reason as well. But like tomorrow, I have a meeting, like we're doing like coaching meetings with our administrators, and for the first time, I'm going to have a sub in my class. And I didn't even get to warn my kids because I didn't get the email till later in the day. So I think I'm going to run in there, let them know this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have everything prepped and ready to go. I might have to already have the notes ready for them where they can just cut them out and paste them into their composition books. I'm probably going to have to do that because we were actually going to kind of go through that together and they'll miss that instruction. So, but yeah, I had to learn to take those days, and I mainly would take them after state assessments. I remember one year I had, I think like five or six days left. And what I did is I was taking like a Monday here, a Friday there, a Monday and a Friday, almost for every week after the state assessment. I was like, I'm going to be having some 3 to 4 day weekends. And that's how I did it. I just saved it like that. But I need to actually go in and request this day that I need in December, as soon as possible, especially since I already know the date, to help ensure that I can get that time off because we don't have a lot of staff. Um, and which means we don't have a lot of subs. And so it could cause problems with you trying to get approved for a day. So I need to do that for sure. Let me see something. So definitely want to put in for that right away. Um, Let me get back to what I was originally talking about. The hurricane and stuff. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever had to experience anything like that, like any serious storms or anything like that. Have y'all had to experience that? We go to work with a cold. It is. It's more work to be absent than it is to be present. And I have left such detailed instructions for subs, and they still just mess up stuff that I'm just like, what's the point? I might as well just go and fight through it myself. Like I do a sub note. So I do a letter to my sub that outlines everything. Then I have all my stuff in order of when it needs to be handed out by class. Everything is clipped, binded, all that stuff, and they will still mess it up. I don't understand how they do that. No, pretty mild here. Oh, snowing is a problem there. Yeah, we've had two bad floods here in San Antonio. We had a bad flood. I want to say it was in '98, like a whole neighborhood, low economic neighborhood got wiped out. And there was a lot of controversy behind that one because they opened a dam to avoid flooding one of the richer neighborhoods. And that whole neighborhood, I guess it was a big deal. They're like, oh, y'all didn't care about the poor people. So their whole neighborhood got wiped out. And it's considered what do they call it? A flood zone now. Whole neighborhood. Just a lot of people didn't even bother rebuilding over there. It was really bad. And they saved the one neighborhood at the risk and the demise of the other. And then we had more bad flooding. I want to say it was 2 years later. I want to say it was in 2000. And I remember that day it started raining bad when I was at work. So I'm leaving work, and I live on the east side of town, and my work was on the northwest side. And so I couldn't get home. Like it was just flooding and raining too bad. And I remember that one of my friends, her sister lived near my work. And so I called her. I was like, can you please call your sister and ask her, can I just sit at her house until this rain dies down? I said, because there's no way I'm going to make it home. There's just no way I can make it right now. And I'm trying to even just take like the access roads and not be on like the highway. And so her sister allowed me to come over, and I sat there till everything died down a little bit and it was safe enough for me to drive home. And that, I'll never forget that flood. My dog got stuck in the backyard. We didn't think it was going to flood as much as it did. And he got traumatized after that. So just the smell of the rain, and he was a beagle, so he could smell that rain coming from miles away. And just when he would smell it in the air, he would just start losing his mind. And he was an outside dog, but he wouldn't even go in his dog house because he was that traumatized. He would just run around in a circle outside his dog house. in the rain. Yeah. People are stocking up on food and making sure cars are filled up. Wow. I was without power for almost a week and so many trees were down in my neighborhood. That's so scary. Yeah, I'm so grateful that my friend's sister let me hang out there, um, because I probably would have ended up stuck on a road somewhere where, and this is the crazy thing. I was working for USAA Auto Insurance at the time. And so there was a lot of water that had gotten into my car because of the flooding. And so I had to file a claim. Do you know it took them like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to look after my car? And I'm like, I'm an employee. I'm not gonna lie, because I could risk my job lying. And they're like, well, when we looked at everything, we didn't find any water. Okay, because it's been sitting and it's gone and evaporated by now. Like y'all waited so long to even check my car. And one I had it sent to one of their like premier repair shops, which was a Cadillac dealership here. My car just sat there like for weeks before they even looked at it. And I'm sure they had a lot of cars to look at because of the flooding and stuff, but it's like, seriously. But yeah, that's about as bad as we've had it here. But our like local streets, neighborhood streets, flood very easily in San Antonio. And we have a lot of stupid people who go in areas where they know they shouldn't go. It never fails. Somebody's always on the news getting stuck somewhere. And I'm like, find them big and heavy, because now the police, the firefighters are risking their lives when you know you shouldn't be at this low water crossing. We have a lot of flood areas in San Antonio, a lot of them. And people will still try to get through. It's crazy. Like, why are you doing that? Like, they do it all the time. So, like I said, literally the local streets, these neighborhood streets will flood so quick. It's not even funny. It doesn't even have to be like torrential rains, just a really nice thunderstorm and the flooding starts. So a lot of flooding issues here. See, that's something I would not be able to do, Kate. I would not be able to be out and about driving in snow. If I lived in an area that actually had a real winter like that and had the heavy snow and all of that, I would have to work from home, or at least that part of the year. No, 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 no. I'm working from home because I don't like the cold. I don't like the rain. We pretty much need both of those to create the snow. I couldn't do it. I would have to work from home. There's just no way I would be able to just go out and about like that in snowy weather. You, you just need to be patient in your physics. No, okay, no. Did you hear about the lady who died in a flood in her car and the 911? Yes, I literally just saw that on Facebook today. That lady needs to be, something needs to happen. Something needs to happen to her. Yes, the lady probably shouldn't have been out in the area like she was supposed to be. Like I said, people do it here. But you're there to provide a service, not to act a fool with her while she's literally dying on the phone with you. That was crazy. My husband taught me how to drive in the snow. No, Kate, you can have it. You can have it, Kate. I don't want it. Like, even, what was it? Was it yesterday? Day before. Yeah, the day before, we were grocery shopping, and all of a sudden it starts raining out of nowhere. It starts raining, and my brother's car was trying to do that like skidding thing, and I was like, mm-mm. And I told him, I said, I'm going to need you to exit right now. I don't want to go the rest of the highway home. Just go ahead and exit because that one highway that we're on has a lot of curves and twists and turns and stuff. So I was just like, no, not today. Not today. They say it wasn't criminal. It was her last shift. She was resigning from the. I don't care. That's even more reason to reprimand her because she pretty much had a I don't give up attitude about it. That's not cool. Hello, Miss Yoli. Oh, Chicago, God bless you. Y'all can get some crazy rainy weather and snow there. Uh-uh. I don't want it. So she was resigning from the job. I don't care. That makes it worse. Ah, it only snows a few days here a year. Yeah, snow's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing, but I don't want it. I don't want it. We get a little ice on the road here in San Antonio. You can best believe they're shutting down roads immediately. And people laugh at us here. They're like, man, y'all just can't even stand a little ice on the road. No, well, because the people can't drive when it's dry. They surely can't drive when it's ice on the road. So they will start shutting down the roads, putting down the gravel and all that. We don't risk that here in San Antonio. She'd put in her 2 weeks notice. Wow. Doesn't matter. She was still employed at the time of that phone call. She was still an actual employee of. That's going to come back on her. God forbid someone does her like that if she ever needs to make a 911 call. God forbid. I read that today. I was like, is she out of her mind? Like, who does that? Just talking really ugly to the lady. If you're not a customer service people person, don't do a customer service job. That's why I got out of customer service. I got tired of people calling and yelling and all that all the time. And I'm like, it's not my fault. Like, let's change our tone and we can all have a good day today. But yeah, she didn't have to be rude to that woman. And I haven't listened to the phone call. A lot of people in the comments were saying that they have listened to it, and you can literally hear the woman just dying on the phone. Like, that's horrible. It's so horrible. I would not even be able to live with myself if I had provided that kind of service to somebody in their time of need and in their time of distress. Like, I wouldn't even be able to live with myself. So, Miss Yoli, we were talking about whether or not we've had to experience any, disasters like flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, anything like that. And I was saying how here in San Antonio, we have a lot, the roads and stuff just flood very easily here. They're always saying here, turn around, don't drown, turn around, don't drown. These people don't believe that can happen. Every single time we have heavy flooding, there you see somebody on the news. They're trying to rescue them. And it's like, come on, people, you're not supposed to be in that area. You're not supposed to be in that area. You're not supposed to be in that area. I will just avoid those low places when that happens. We have the access road to I-35 here in one area, and it's really low and it floods really, really bad over there too. And the bad thing, there's a lot of industrial park buildings and stuff over there, and a lot of people have to get to their jobs and everything over there, so it gets bad. You get bad rain and the viaducts, but people always getting stuck. Wow. Yeah, I was telling them how one of the bad floods we had here, they opened up the dam to save a rich, prominent neighborhood, and then one of the poor, lower economic neighborhoods got pretty much wiped out. They also get bad tornadoes in the suburbs. Oh, wow. Now, I've seen some footage of some tornadoes. Ooh, that stuff is crazy. That's some crazy stuff. I mean, just how it just will pick up any and everything with it. When God wasn't playing with his elements of the earth, okay? Wind, water, fire, air. I mean, all that stuff is strong stuff, okay? Some strong stuff. You don't want to play around with all of that. Definitely don't want to play around with all of that. We get some bad, crazy deep snow in the inner city. Yeah, I don't want snow. We have, like I said, we get ice here and people lose their minds. Like, don't even let us get ice on the road. It's the whole city just kind of shuts down. You know how they shut down the juke joint on Color Purple? That let it get too cold or too icy. San Antonio's gonna shut down. We're not playing. Like, we will have school closures in a heartbeat. We're not playing with all of that. They will shut it down. As soon as it starts getting around freezing, we don't play. Yep, just like they shut down that juke joint, that's how we're shutting down the town here when we get some bad weather. We don't really take the risk. It's just the crazy people that go out there and take the risk. Like, I'm a fast driver. I drive very fast. I'm not gonna lie. But let it be raining or let it be icy, you're gonna think I went from speed racer to grandma because I'm not moving. I'm gonna be inching like a turtle if the weather's bad because I don't need any problems. We don't do that plowing, so we just shut it down. If putting that gravel down doesn't help, we shutting down the city. Schools are shutting down. You might have some employers say, we're shutting down, don't come to work. The city might shut down. We don't take the risk here. Oh, and that's one thing I do like about San Antonio. We don't really take the risk. Like, shut it down. Oh goodness, because I guess they probably figure a lot of people aren't gonna come to work anyways. So there's some things I'm just not gonna risk my life for, you know. I'm just not gonna do it. And then here we have like a lot of like little townships around us. And usually people are coming into San Antonio from those little townships for work. They're not trying to risk their lives either coming into town. So we just kind of shut it down. We have some areas that are considered like hill country and they freeze up faster, they get ice quicker, they get colder quicker. So we consider all of that. And this city will shut down in a heartbeat. And y'all will be there in Chicago laughing at us like, seriously? Just like we laugh at people that think 80 degrees is hot. Like 80 degrees. Y'all think that's hot? That's cool here. And we've been in 100-degree weather. Most people are getting ready for fall. We're still like in the 90s. So yeah. Salt trucks line up for hours awaiting snow. Keep your salt trucks and keep your snow. My younger brother used to tell me how he used to walk in the snow back in Virginia when he lived there with my older brother going to culinary school. And I was like, there is no way I can imagine walking in the snow. That means you're walking in the cold. Ugh. No, no, and no. It's 100 here and we're in a crisis. Yeah, so when I went to Seattle last summer, they were in the 80s and like late 70s, 80s, and people were like, oh, it's hot. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, I literally left here in San Antonio and we had been over 100 degrees here. So I'm like, 80 something, that's lovely. Y'all don't even know what hot is. And so I'll never forget, it's always freezing on those airplanes. So I had on a jacket and going through the airport, getting my luggage and everything. Soon as I came outside, I was like, oh my God, back in the 100-degree weather. So I'm just ripping my jacket off like, you're back home. You're back home, Dorothy. You know you have arrived because it's hot like crazy. But I try not to complain about the heat because I don't like to be cold. Frigid cold, the wind off that lake in the winter is no jokes. Yeah, I 75 to 80 is a good temperature. Even sometimes in the 70s, I might get a little chilly depending on how the wind is blowing, but that can happen sometimes. So, yeah, just depends. Just depends. But otherwise, we don't really experience bad weather here. We just have like the heat advisory warnings and stuff like that. Like bringing your pets, or when it does get like to freezing, because real quick they'll tell you drip your faucets. If it's going to get anywhere around 30 degrees, then drip your faucets so your pipes don't freeze up. Like last year, I didn't really wear any heavy winter clothing because it never really got cold enough. And I love like winter boots, the high winter boot, but we don't really get to wear those. Now there are some people that are in Texas that are crazy and they will wear boots all year round here, which I think is insane. Why are you wearing hot boots in 100-degree weather? But some people do it. And I'm not talking about cowboys and cowgirls. I'm not talking about people that wear those like construction work boots. I'm talking about just crazy people that are wearing boots to be wearing boots. I've never been to Texas. My coworker recently retired, went back to her San Antonio, and she could. I always say, I've been here all my life. I've never lived in another city. I've never lived in another state, and I don't think I would survive anywhere else because I don't like being cold and I don't like the rain. And I believe that anywhere else, I'm really going to get those full 4 seasons, and I don't want to deal with winter. Now, there are some benefits to not living in Texas. Some people that may have never experienced allergies before may experience them pretty badly when they come to Texas. We have a lot of allergens here, and we have cedar really bad. We get the mold a lot because it's so humid here. So allergens will get you when you come to Texas. And my older brother, he had been stationed in San Diego for a while, and then when he retired from the Marines and came back home, we were warning him like, you might want to start preparing yourself for allergies, but he didn't believe us, and he suffers from them pretty bad, like pretty bad. So that's one disadvantage for sure of living here. And then the fact that we can get in those triple digits with our heat. Now, the bad thing about our heat, as opposed to maybe a Vegas heat, we have humidity. Vegas, somewhere like Vegas has a dry heat and it's not as bad as here. We have a lot of humidity in our area, like a whole lot. So know that when you move here, you're going to deal with those things like allergens, you're going to deal with the humidity. Your skin and your hair is going to go through a change because of the humidity and because we have hard water. Now, that's something I really enjoy about going out of town somewhere else is the soft water. There is some serious hard water here in San Antonio. It's bad, bad, bad. A lot of homeowners will go get water softeners put in their homes. So we have bad, bad hard water here. So that's another thing. Your skin is going to go through a change. Your hair is going to go through a change. Yeah, humidity is bad. The humidity is pretty bad here, you know. Um, it just makes you feel, I think, hotter than what you really are sometimes, and it makes you just sweaty. It's just gross, which I hate sweating, so that's like, ugh. um, yeah, and then the other bad thing about living here, we've become a very dangerous place to live lately. So that was one of the things I was thinking about, when I was saying be safe out there, because not only do we have all these natural disasters and things, but our town, just, I believe in August alone, I can't tell you how many bodies were found here. Just body after body after body after body. It's been pretty bad, and I wouldn't doubt if we are on the most dangerous cities list at this point, because crime has gotten like pretty outrageous here. We had a shooting here the other day. There's this little nightclub not far from my house. There was a shooting in their parking lot early in the morning, but mind you, they had SWAT, they had tons of police, EMS, blah blah blah, but they were there like all day. And so I'm like, if that shooting happened early this morning, why are people still there? Literally, the last I drove by there was probably about 6:30 in the evening. And this shooting supposedly had taken place like around 8 something in the morning. Why had they been there all day long? It's insane. Yeah, Chicago, I've heard Chicago is pretty bad. Unfortunately. Um, I just think people are just losing their minds, and just crime is just getting really crazy. Period. My brother showed me a news headline today. Some people held up a Popeyes at gunpoint for these stinking chicken sandwiches. Not because you want to rob them for some money, but because you wanted the chicken sandwich. Like, it's just not that serious. Like, what did they put into chicken sandwich? Did they put crack in it? Meth in it? Like, what did they put in that chicken sandwich? That people are crazy. Then somebody mentioned it. We were talking about, I think I was watching something online about it, talking about gluttony and how the Bible says gluttony will have people doing all kinds of craziness. So there you have it. I just think it's insane. But we have a lot of issues too with child abuse here. There was a story on the news today. They found, and I don't know if it was in San Antonio, I think it was, but it may have been somewhere else. I want to say it was here, that they found a 5-year-old in a closet, had been there for days, dead. It's like, seriously, people? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And we have a lot of unsolved crimes here, which that whole unsolved crimes thing just, I don't know. I can't fathom it, because I always feel like somebody knows something. So why do we have all these unsolved crimes? And especially if the person that was killed was a popular person or knew a lot of people, then somebody knows something. Why haven't we solved this crime yet? I know. Sometimes I just feel like people aren't asking the right questions, and that's why we have a lot of unsolved murders. I know, but we've had a lot of craziness just over like the last, I would say, year or two here, and like I said, just in August alone, I can't even tell you how many bodies they found around the city or surrounding areas just in August. So, like, do we have a serial killer here, or what's going on? And then the bad thing is, our sheriff's department is a super hot mess. Okay, our sheriff's department is a hot mess to the nth degree. So, in addition to seeing the killings and the bodies and the child abuse and stuff like that on the news, guess what else you're seeing on the news? Our sheriff's officers getting in trouble for any and everything imaginable. We've had several inmates be accidentally released from the jail. Several inmates die in the jail. And how did this happen? You know, our sheriff's officers are getting in trouble. They're committing their own crimes. And it's like every time you look up, it's another issue with the sheriff's department. So I'm like, just throw them all out and start over. Just throw them all out and start over. It's crazy. So it's like, if we can't even get our sheriff's department to do right, how can we get the citizens to do what they're supposed to do? And I don't know when the election time comes for the sheriff's department, but something needs to happen there. Like something needs to happen there. They have been accused and found guilty of so many different things. And it's like, y'all gonna be locked up with the same people that y'all supposed to be watching over in the jail. Like, it's crazy the things that they get into. Drugs, this, that, you name it. They've been getting into it. We've been having like the little townships and stuff around here, the city council people doing stupid crimes to each other, and it's just been a hot mess here. It really has. And I'm like, it just that when you have that kind of stuff repetitively occurring, people just become desensitized by it. And that's the sad thing. People are just going to become desensitized. Yeah. We had this one lady, they had found her body, and I think they had finally arrested her husband for the murder. That was one of the big news stories here. And it's just insane. It's just insane, all the stuff that's been going on. I've known a few of the people that have been killed over the last couple of years here. It's our Black female mayor who happens to be a lesbian battling a Black male police superintendent council who is out of control. Wow. I could imagine. We just need telling y'all, if I tell you, if you go search San Antonio sheriff's officer arrested, there's no telling how many news stories y'all will come across, because they just keep getting in trouble here. They just keep on getting in trouble. And every time I'm just like, here we go again. Here we go again. And then the head sheriff's officer, or whatever his actual title is, I don't know. He's always trying to get on there and, make it look cleaner than what it is. It's just, no, y'all are a mess. It's happening all over. Similar stuff in Virginia. I'm telling you, it's the days and the times that we're living in, for sure. And I don't know. There are so many things that people should be doing productively than spending so much time and energy on just doing the wrong things. Like, I just don't understand it at all. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. It doesn't make sense to me. But there's like a couple of big murder cases that happened here over the last couple of years, and nobody seems to know anything. And I don't believe that. It's like somebody knows something. And then another thing that I've always wondered is like, how can you kill somebody and just walk around every day like you didn't do that? You have to be some kind of evil spirit to just not go even turn yourself in knowing that you've killed somebody. And you're just walking around like it's nothing. I I've never been able to comprehend that. And those are people that apparently have like no conscience, no remorse for others, no empathy and sympathy for other, like none of that. Like I couldn't even imagine just walking and living my life after I've taken somebody else's life for no valid reason. And I feel like the only valid reason you should take someone's life is if you're defending your own. Um, but yeah, that trips me out. It just trips me out. Like you're just walking around free, and then some people will be walking around free for like years or decades, even before they're caught. Because y'all know I watch Justice TV all the time, so I'm always watching, the shows about like the cold cases and stuff like that. And these people will have been walking around for years and years and years, just walking around free. Some of them will have killed other people. Sometimes they figure out the case and that person's already locked up for another crime. It's like, goodness. So you just kept on this little crime spree. It's insane. Hey there, Michelle. We were talking about being safe out there, being safe in terms of, all these natural disasters, being safe in terms of all the crime that's out there. And I was just talking about how our city has become really crazy and our sheriff's department isn't making it any better because they're getting arrested more than the citizens are. But it's just craziness. And I was saying how it's insane how some people will have killed someone and they will walk free for years, maybe even decades before they're even caught. And that's if they're even caught at all. Sometimes they're not even caught. I will never forget one story I watched, and it always intrigued me. It was an older man who said his wife had fell off some cliff or whatever when they were hiking and she died. Well, some people close to her didn't believe that she had fallen. And then people were saying that he had had another wife who had died in a similar fashion. Actually, two previous wives, I believe, that had died in a similar fashion. And of course, he wasn't trying to admit to anything. He had supposedly killed one wife and the kids, killed another wife who had died in the same fashion as the one that fell off the cliff. So he didn't want to admit to anything, but his ego was so big and he wanted to be known as a serial killer. And that is how they tricked this fool into admitting to the other crimes. Because they were like, well, you're not a serial killer unless you've killed more than one person. And so he finally admitted to the other crimes that he had committed. Ego got him. Like, seriously, dude, who wants to be known as serial killer? Who? Who wants that title? only a crazy person. Only a crazy person. So it's like, yeah, I just, and a lot of, he had gone walking free for those previous two incidents for years and years and years and years. And if it wasn't for friends and family of these women and of his children, questioning things, they would have never known that he had killed other people, or they wouldn't have ever probably even been suspicious of that latest crime that he was being charged with. But that's how they caught him, because he wanted to be known as a serial killer. And I was like, wow, dude. I'll never forget that story. I've watched that story so many times on Justice TV, but it intrigues me every single time. Every single time. All right, so it is 8 o'clock, and I really got to do some lesson planning. And I actually think I have some videos I need to film. But I'm working on my lesson plans first. I think I've kind of got in my mind how I can go about doing this with it not being so taxing and tedious. And now that I've figured out Google Hangouts, we can definitely take that route next week. So still talk to you guys about a lot of those things that I linked before. So now I know you would only have to look me up by the email, which is pastriespumpsandpie@gmail.com. And so next week, what we'll probably do, we'll do 30 minutes Tuesday talks, and then we'll all meet back up on the Google Hangout. So as long as you all have the availability to do Google Hangout, we can all get on there and talk about the good. All right. So you ladies know I love having you, and I never want to get off, but duty calls, ladies, duty calls. It was good chatting with you too, and I will see you guys next week on Tuesday Talks. So have a great week. Stay safe. If you've got friends or family that are in the way of the storm, I will be praying for them, and you do the same. And we just pray that as many people can survive and be safe as possible. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.